But you don't have to be in a car in the middle of nowhere to feel the darkness, to feel the directionless, to feel the aimlessness that I did. We live in a time of war. We live in a time of environmental decay. As Tom mentioned, read the news, and each new day we're greeted with a company doing massive layoffs. Read the news, and you see each day massive amounts of foreclosure. The world we once knew is changing, and it's disorienting and frightening. Where is the light? Where is the hope? Where is the direction when each new day the GPS gives us more horrifying information? The psalmist wrote, I look to the hills. Where does my help come from? Bede Griffiths, before he became a Benedictine monk, spent his youth on that search. Where does my help come from? Where is God in all this? And he embarked on a quasi-Faustian, intellectual, metaphysical exploration of the world, searching for God, searching for signs of God. He studied at Oxford. He lived in what amounts to a commune with friends where they would study and talk with each other. He lived by himself in the woods. At one point, he simply gave up his studies and thought, maybe working the land, I can find God. And he found that he got to a point in his life where he had seen reflections of God in so many different places, and he collected them, until he had this mirror, he said. I had this mirror that was a reflection of God's presence in the world, but it was not God, because I was at the center of that mirror. And the breakthrough for me was at that moment, because then that mirror shattered and darkness fell upon me, and I realized I'm not the center of the universe. God is everywhere. Our statement of faith, the Church's statement of faith, which borrows liberally from the UCC statement of faith, says that God puts paths of good and evil in front of us and seeks in holy love to save us from aimlessness and sin. Now, sin, we understand. I think we're comfortable with the idea that as we confess, ours is a forgiving God. There's no pregnant pause of terror after we confess, waiting for somebody to say, well, okay, one more time. God forgives us. But what about the aimlessness? Why is it we find ourselves in the midst of aimlessness, darkness, disorientation, fear, on so many different levels? It's not on a global level in your personal lives. Is it possible that God's salvation from aimlessness is not so much that we will not experience this disorientation, this fear, this aimlessness, but that God promises to be present in the midst of that aimlessness? We are, Paul writes, jars of clay, fragile, finite, apt to be damaged, apt to be broken. But we nevertheless contain within these jars the living Spirit of God, the God who at the beginning of time called forth light from darkness, and through Jesus Christ continues to call forth from the darkness of our hearts light. God is everywhere and in everyone. Amen.